Come on! Claire gritted her teeth as the hammer struck the edge of the blade. It felt like the more she tried to form a bevel, the more time was needed to fix any errors she created, which was a frustrating experience. Out of the corner of her eyes, she could see the roaring of the flames as Hannah's dagger was being heated up. Focus on what you're doing, Claire told herself, as she tried to not concern herself about what her friend was doing while doing work that required her concentration. Striking the edge, a grin came on Claire's face as the sound felt right. Wanting to maintain the sensation, several more hits with her hammer was made on the metal. With it cooled down, she made her way back to the forge. A sigh escaped her mouth as she rolled her shoulder from the stress. I'm slowly getting better, Claire thought to herself. Behind her, Claire could hear the hissing of Hannah's dagger being dipped into the energy-infused oil. When Claire turned to look, she could see Hannah gently raising and lowering the blade. Her friend was being careful not to move it sideways. Claire then returned her attention to her own blade, pressing the bellows to keep the temperature where it needed to be. When it was ready, she pulled it out, making sure to brush it down, and made her way back to the anvil. Trying to remember the positive feel of the hammer striking the blade, she couldn't help but feel better about her abilities as she continued to make progress. Each strike of the hammer gave her a good sensation. When the brightness of the heated area lessened, Claire could see that the bevel was coming out the way she wanted to. Just a few more times, Claire said to herself. You're nearly done with that stage. Hannah walked over to see how Claire's progress was going when she hung up her own dagger to cool. Claire grinned at Hannah. I'll be catching up with you soon. Smacking her lips, Hannah said, I think I taste a sweet taste of victory, of you buying my dinner after this is all done. Rolling her eyes, Claire stuck her blade into the bed of coke. It's not over until it's over, she said defiantly to Hannah's confident grin. Hearing such words, Hannah's grin grew wider. Just make sure not to mess it up at the last moment. I'd hate to see a repeat. She walked back to her own dagger to check up on it. We're not going to do that this time, right? Claire talked to her own work, encouraging herself. The competitive spirit between her and Hannah helped to get rid of the hesitation she was feeling earlier, making her appreciate her friend even more. Though they acted in such a manner, it was a nice feeling to have Hannah working on the same thing as she was inside the workshop. Going through the repeated failures was an easier process, knowing Hannah would tease Claire in good fun. It wasn't long going through the process of pulling out the blade from the forge to hammering the bevel before Claire grinned at the blade and saw the edge that was formed on both sides. Staring at the cooled metal and appreciating her handiwork, there was a feeling of pride that welled up from inside. Now, I just need to heat up the blade to get it ready for the quenching process. Claire made her way towards a long tool that had several torches installed. Inside was a row of bricks where the blade would be set. The length of the tool was long enough to heat up a large sword, but wide enough for a battle axe of significant size, making it more than work for the small dagger's blade length. Seeing how it could fit a sword made Claire think about how they'd be doing other weapons in the future.